Hey everyone, and welcome to your carrier update presented by PowerFleet. I'm Zach Strickland, and we are going to talk about tender rejections all day today because that's what's important in January, is figuring out which markets, which areas of the country are having the most destabilization. So what I mean by that is anytime that we are in a low volume, a declining market environment, is that we need to identify the areas where you're going to have the highest percentage opportunity for increasing freight chances. So when carriers are rejecting freight in certain parts of the country, that means that they are going down the line in their route guides looking for somewhere to find freight. And right now, we are declining significantly on our outbound tender rejection index, 6.23% overall, but van rejection rates under 6% for the month right now. So we knew this was going to happen. Didn't know if it was going to happen this rapidly or not, but we had a little stall out point right here, but it has started to finally settle back down as we enter the end of January and start February. Nothing to be too concerned about, 14.86% on the reefer side, holding a little bit stickier than the van demand overall. So looking at the market itself, we're looking for these dark blue markets on the weighted rejection index map. We need to find the ones where you're going to have the highest opportunity along with volume to get those increasing chances on the spot market. Your contracted freight, mostly, about 95% acceptance rates right now, but the market is still figuring out where it needs to be in terms of everybody coming back online from that Christmas holiday where the drivers went to their areas of the country, went home for a little while, took vacations. Some of them were even on furlough for a little bit because this is the lower volume time of the year. And it does take them time to figure out where they need to be and get these markets in balance because, as we all know, freight moves freight, and if you're not moving, that means you're not getting into position where you need to be. So any of these darker blue markets are areas of interest for any carrier out there. We've got Savannah, Green Bay, Hutchinson, Kansas, for instance. We just had a big winter weather event coming through the middle part of the country right here in Kansas. And let's take a look at that real quick. So Hutchinson, Kansas, tender rejection rates moving up about 8.63%. This is important to know because the rest of the market is in decline. And yesterday we had a big amount of snow coming through that area, and it did create a lot of disruption. 8.83%, I should say, for the tender rejection rate, and it is moving up. Historically, too, over the last several months, it has had a lot more activity here in the most recent time. So if you are operating in this area, it is a good area potentially to look on the spot board and check out to see what's going on. Some of the tweener rejection rate is the one that's going up. So this is going to be some higher mileage freight moving across the country, 450 to 800 mile freight that is seeing 14.5% tender rejection rate. Another market to watch, the Savannah market. So Savannah, a big port city, the tender rejection rate's not quite as robust out here. 3.78% tender rejection rate, very calm. You've got a 96% acceptance rate down there, but it is moving up, and that is important because it's moving the opposite direction of where you would consider it being for a stable environment. Now, one of the reasons for this is probably due to the port activity, which I'll show you in just a second, but local rejection rates driving this market, which means that you're going to go from 0 to 100 miles, basically driving it from the port to the DC or the warehouse, wherever you're going, more than likely hopping on the rail as well. So a lot more activity around the Savannah market. But if you're looking right here at the customs import shipments, we have had significant spikes in inbound customs coming through the Savannah port right now. I've got the rail volumes on there as well as the trucking volumes, and you can see that they do follow this pattern of spiking volume here over the last couple of weeks. So again, if you're operating in the Savannah market, you may have a little bit more increased chance of finding freight today or the next few days. And that'll do it for today's carrier update.
The comprehensive logistics offerings from PowerFleet cover in-cab ELD, fleet management, trailer tracking, cargo monitoring, and tracking other assets such as chassis and intermodal containers. Power up your operations with PowerFleet.